what essentially makes a man rich in the true sense of the word. You may or may not succeed with a plan, but without one, you will definitely fail. How is it possible for me to have a fine corporate job and still be broke? I figured out that there are essentially 4 habits that make an individual rich in the true sense. For a long time, when I was broke, I would always wonder, how is it possible for me to have a fine corporate job and still be broke? I have a decent salary, but not enough. I have some free time, but not enough. Perhaps some location mobility as well. Once again, not enough. It took a lot of thought exercise to understand what the true nature of being rich is, what essentially makes a man rich in the true sense of the word. Now you see, there are people in the corporate world with fancy titles and what may appear as extravagantly high-paying jobs, but the reality behind the glitter is bleak for most. CTC does not translate to exact money in the bank. The higher the wage, the more complicated the job, with no to zero control over time and hardly any control over location. Once I came to this realization, I understood that the true meaning of rich, at least for me, and I know for a lot of people watching this, is money, time, and location freedom. Most people do not want to be billionaires. Rather, want enough not to be deprived of the joys of life, all the while having control over their time so they may enjoy the fruits of their labor, and perhaps location freedom so they may explore some of God's wonders. I figured out that there are essentially 4 habits that make an individual rich in the true sense. These habits have to be inculcated so one may position themselves in a way so as to obtain time, money, and location freedom. In this video, I will share my findings. Now a disclaimer here. These are my observations, also based upon practical experience. Not only has my income gone up substantially as a result, I am physically and mentally in a much better position as well. Habit number 1. Define being rich. The process begins by your definition of rich. When I was younger, I believed that being rich is only connected with money. But with age came the understanding that money is indeed a tool to enjoy the niceties of life. It's not the aim within itself. Of course, some people may disagree. For some, it may just be money. But to all my youngsters out there, trust me, as you age, your time becomes more valuable to you, and money becomes a medium to achieve it. Defining your idea of rich allows you to plan accordingly, allocate your resources, and designate timeline. It also makes practical sense, as a self-imposed definition takes into account individual factors that vary from person to person. Habit number 2. Having a plan and a timeline. Nothing great ever happens by mistake. You may or may not succeed with a plan, but without one, you will definitely fail. People have dreams. Very few have a plan to reach it. Analyzing your strengths and weaknesses, looking at the market opportunities, and making the right moves. All this needs a plan that is both sturdy enough to make any tangible sense, but flexible as well, so as to allow the person to pivot if he shall so deem necessary. A good plan also has a timeline. I need to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year. Now you have to divide the year into quarters, further into months, then assign targets for every month. You cannot imagine to stay on target or even stay disciplined without the pressure of the clock. Habit number 3. Get a routine that works. After planning and giving yourself a timeline, the next important thing is to get yourself a daily routine. Even the biggest and longest plans of the world need execution on a day-to-day basis. A routine allows you to be creative with your time as well as be productive. For example, if you decide to work on your business for 3 hours after office every day, you can choose to cover a certain aspect of the business depending on how you feel, if you're tired or not, etc., giving you flexibility. But the fact that you work 3 hours every single day gives you the framework to build your plan upon. The first step to creating a routine is to fix your sleep timings. I'm not suggesting any specific time. I just want to emphasize on fixing the timing. So if you go to bed at 2 a.m. like me and wake up at 9 or 10 a.m., try to fix it. It allows for hormones to stay stable, resulting in a clearer perspective and a better, balanced mood. Creating a productive routine and following it are two different things. My suggestion is to always start with the basics. I will work X hours. I will dedicate Y hours to physical exercise and so on. With time and experience, you can create an effective routine for yourself that can be sustained over a period of time. Habit number 4. Cut off the negative influence. The easiest said and the hardest done. This one right here is the differentiator. Do you have what it takes to take a firm stand and eliminate the people who hold you back? Trust me when I say this is the most difficult one. It may include your friends, your girlfriend, and many more. It is the truest test of mental resolve. Once accomplished, this act will free up your valuable time and attention that can then be allocated to meeting the right people who are useful and have similar interests and used to enhance your skill set. Of course, apart from these 4 habits, there are many nuanced habits that need to be developed, but I purposefully chose to create a video around these 4. This, my friends, is your starting point. A lot of people want to focus on the complicated parts because that sounds fancy, conveniently ignoring the basics. These 4 habits have to be mastered first and foremost. Everything else is dependent on these, like a building resting on its foundations. On this channel, I will share all that I have learned through trial and error by making mistakes, hopeful that some of you may avoid the same. Life, my friends, is about richness of wealth, health, and the mind, and on this channel, you will learn to master all 3. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. Subscribe to The Invincible Indian for more content on being a high-value man. Take care of yourself and your families. God bless us all. Thank you.